The loudest moves in Buckingham Palace are never made with a shout. They are made with the scratch of a fountain pen, the silent update of a digital database, and the turning of a heavy iron-bound door. For years, the world has been captivated by the loud drama, the interviews, the documentaries, the tell-all books. But while the public was distracted by the noise, the monarchy was busy with the paperwork. And that paperwork, according to high-level insiders, has just reached its final and chilling conclusion. The Crown has officially moved to erase Archie Harrison and Lilibet Diana from the future of the British monarchy. This isn't a family disagreement or a temporary cooling-off period. This is an administrative execution. Their names are being scrubbed. Their titles are being hollowed out. And their place in the thousand-year story of the Windsor bloodline is being quietly but permanently deleted. Don't forget to subscribe to Royal Report Daily and hit that notification bell so you never miss a single update. To understand how we got here, you have to understand that the palace doesn't play by the rules of celebrity or public opinion. They play the long game. While Harry and Meghan were winning the battle for headlines in California, the King's advisors were winning the war of the archives in London. They weren't counting likes or view counts. They were studying a document from 1917, a set of rules so strict they were designed to survive world wars and social revolutions. The letters patent of King George V, and right now, those rules are grinding the Sussex children's royal status into dust. For a child to be truly royal, they must pass a three-part test. They must have the verified royal bloodline. They must have an officially witnessed birth recorded by the Crown, and they must carry the spiritual seal of the Church of England through an official baptism. If even one of these boxes is left unchecked, the Crown views that person not as an heir, but as a private citizen. And according to sources close to the Lord Chamberlain's office, the files for Archie and Lilibet are full of empty boxes. The palace hasn't needed to strip their titles in a dramatic public ceremony. They have simply chosen to stop recognizing them. They are letting the children's royal identities wither quietly, waiting for the moment they can finally say the record is incomplete, therefore the status does not exist. Stay tuned to Royal Report Daily. We bring you the stories that matter. This process of quiet erasure started the very moment Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor entered the world in 2019. Behind the happy public photos, a legal battle was already erupting over a single piece of paper, the birth certificate. Originally, the document listed Meghan's full legal name, Rachel Meghan Markle. But 11 days later, something unprecedented happened. The certificate was edited. Her name was removed and replaced with her formal title, Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Sussex. This was not a minor clerical correction. This was a redaction. In the world of the monarchy, a birth certificate is legal proof of birth of the body. By removing her personal name, a question mark was placed permanently over the document. Why was it changed? Who ordered it? And most importantly, what was it trying to hide? The palace's legal team immediately saw this as a crack in the foundation. In royal protocol, doubt is the ultimate weapon. If the birth certificate isn't standard, the child's claim to the throne can be challenged. The ancient born of the body clause, the requirement that a royal child must be biologically delivered by the mother in a way verifiable by the state, suddenly became the central legal question surrounding Archie's status. And if the situation with Archie was a crack, the birth of Lilibet Diana in 2021 was a total collapse of the system. Lilibet was born in Santa Barbara, California, the first high-ranking royal heir to be born on foreign soil in generations. No royal doctors, no British officials, no oversight from the Crown whatsoever. For the first time in history, a child in the direct line of succession entered the world entirely outside the royal bubble. To Harry and Meghan, it felt like freedom. To the monarchy, it was a jurisdictional nightmare. How do you verify a birth that happened in a private American clinic? How do you confirm the bloodline when the attending doctors are not part of the royal medical household? Sources claim that when the news reached London, the reaction was not joy. It was cold administrative silence. The palace didn't update the official line of succession for weeks. They didn't fire the traditional royal gun salutes. They treated Lilibet's birth as a private matter for a private family. In the language of the Crown, this was devastating. If you are not officially acknowledged by the sovereign, you do not exist in the eyes of the state. It didn't matter that the public called her Princess Lilibet. In the archives that truly matter, she was simply Lilibet Diana Mountbatten Windsor, an American citizen with a famous father. The palace was sending a quiet but unmistakable message. If you want to live a private life in California, we will grant you exactly that. But you cannot take the crown's identity with you. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to Royal Report Daily for more exclusive investigations. But the final red line wasn't about birth certificates or geography. It was about the one thing the monarchy protects above absolutely everything else: the brand. For 1,000 years, the crown has been a symbol of duty and service. It is not something you use to sell jam candles or lifestyle podcasts. But that is precisely what the palace saw happening in Montecito. When Meghan launched her lifestyle brand American Riviera Orchard, the king's advisors reportedly went into quiet crisis mode. It wasn't just the business itself. It was the way it was being marketed, shimmering with the aura of royalty, leaning heavily into the Duchess title, turning the royal connection into a commercial aesthetic. To King Charles, this was the ultimate line crossed: the monetization of the bloodline. According to insiders, this was the moment the king authorized the final correction. The order was simple: sever the ties. If the Sussex identity was going to be used as a commercial tool, the palace would ensure that tool had no actual royal power remaining within it. The process began with removing the HRH titles from the official palace website. Then it moved to the quiet erasure of the children from future royal planning. No security details, no ceremonial roles, no place in the inner circle of the family's future. Archie and Lilibet were being moved to the extended family list, the same quiet place where distant cousins and forgotten royals go to gradually fade away. Don't miss a single update. Subscribe to Royal Report Daily right now. This administrative execution has had a profound effect on Prince Harry. Sources describe him as being in a state of persistent midnight panic. He grew up inside the palace walls. He understands how the system operates. He knows that once the machine decides you are out, there is genuinely no coming back. He has reportedly made dozens of phone calls to his father, not asking for money, not asking for a return to royal duties, but begging for his children's legacy to be protected. The palace's response has been like hitting a wall of solid ice. One senior aide reportedly told him directly, "A bloodline is a biological fact, but a royal identity is a legal privilege. You chose to leave the legal framework. You cannot expect the privileges to follow you across the Atlantic." For Harry, this is the ultimate and most painful isolation. He is a prince without a country, and now a father watching his children become royals in name only. Imagine knowing that your children's names are being quietly removed from the very books that record the history of your ancestors. Imagine watching your brother's children being prepared for thrones and titles while your own children face a future increasingly disconnected from the institution they were born into. The gap between those two lives is becoming a canyon, and that canyon was dug by the palace, one document at a time. Subscribe to Royal Report Daily and stay ahead of every royal development. The king isn't acting out of personal anger or revenge. He is acting out of what he sees as an institutional necessity, protecting the crown from what his advisors view as a volatile, commercially driven branch that has repeatedly undermined the stability and dignity of the monarchy. The only way to stop the damage is to quarantine the branch entirely, and that means cutting Archie and Lilibet out of the story permanently. The phrasing the palace reportedly uses in internal documents is deeply telling. They don't use words like family or grandchildren. They use terms like the California contingent or the non-resident heirs. It is a process of dehumanization by protocol. By turning his own grandchildren into administrative issues, the king is able to separate the institutional decision from the emotional reality of what is being done to his own family. He isn't erasing Archie and Lilibet. He is streamlining the succession. And for Meghan, this represents the ultimate identity crisis. Her brand, her public image, and her family's entire future were built on the foundation of royal connection. With the palace systematically dismantling that connection, the foundation is crumbling beneath her. She is no longer a duchess in exile forging a new path. She is becoming a former royal in a world that moves on very quickly from yesterday's stories. Hit that like button and subscribe to Royal Report Daily right now. The speed of this erasure is accelerating. Observers have noted that Archie and Lilibet's names have been quietly omitted from several official royal mentions where they would traditionally have been included. It is death by 1,000 cuts. First a missing mention in a birthday post, then a seat absent at a royal event, then a name missing entirely from the official line of succession. The palace never does things all at once. They do them slowly and methodically, so that by the time the public notices, the change is already permanent and irreversible. And the children themselves? Archie and Lilibet will grow up in a world of California sunshine, private schools, and celebrity connections. They will know wealth and privilege, but they will also carry a profound and permanent absence. They will be the only members of their bloodline who were quietly removed from the history they were born into. They will see their cousins standing on the balcony of Buckingham Palace, surrounded by the symbols of 1,000 years of power, and they will understand that they were once supposed to be there too. They are the ghost royals, present in the blood, absent in the record. The monarchy has done this before. During World War I, King George V stripped the titles of his own German relatives, men who were his personal cousins and close friends, because the institution demanded it. He didn't do it out of hatred. He did it because the crown always prioritizes its own survival above personal relationships. The individual is always sacrificed for the survival of the institution. In the 20th century, it was the German cousins. In the 21st century, it is the Sussex children. As we look at the quiet, empty spaces where Archie and Lilibet's names once appeared, the palace strategy becomes unmistakably clear. They haven't just won a battle. They have curated the future. They have ensured that the line of succession is clean, verified, and entirely under the control of the crown. By removing the Sussex children, they have removed the possibility of a rival court operating from American soil. They have removed the possibility of a future prince or princess using their royal title to build a commercial empire or advance a political agenda. They have slimmed down the monarchy in the most brutal way possible by cutting out the parts that no longer fit. Years from now, when the history books are opened, the royal story will move cleanly from King Charles to Prince William and then to Prince George. The names Archie and Lilibet will be missing from the main text. They will be relegated to the margins, a curious side story of a prince who left and a legacy that was quietly corrected. The monarchy doesn't need to argue. It doesn't need to defend itself publicly. It only needs to survive. And it survives by being the only story in the room. The final orders are not a punishment. They are a correction. A firm and permanent reminder that in the world of the Windsors, royalty is not something you are simply born with. It is something that is granted, and it can be taken back. If you don't follow the rules, if you don't respect the traditions, if you don't keep the paperwork in order, the crown can reclaim everything. The ink has dried. The archives have been updated. The final erasure is complete. And in the quiet halls of Buckingham Palace, the only sound you can hear is the ticking of a clock that has been running for 1,000 years. A clock that will continue to tick long after the Sussex story has faded into the background of history. The monarchy never raises its voice. It never needs to. Its silence is always the loudest sound in the room. This has been Royal Report Daily, bringing you the complete truth from inside the palace walls. If this investigation gave you new perspective on the Sussex story in 2026, please hit that like button right now. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and share this video with everyone who is following this extraordinary chapter in royal history. Turn on your notifications so you are always first when we publish our next exclusive report. Because the story of Archie, Lilibet, and the future of the British monarchy is far from over. Royal Report Daily. Stay informed, stay connected, and we will see you in our next report.